So, hi again class. We are now moving forward to Chapter 8, which is Curriculum and Educational Reform in the Philippines. So, nakikita nyo na hindi nawawala yung interconnection within our lessons kasi from the start, which is the nature, to foundations and history, to pillars, to laws, to relevant laws, code and ethics, tapos napunta tayo sa qualities, diba? And then nagkaroon naman ng teaching and learning styles. Ngayon naman, nandito tayo sa curriculum and meron ng educational reform, specifically in the Philippines. So, first, let us define curriculum. So, a curriculum can be defined as a plan for action or a written document that includes strategies for achieving desired goal or ends. And it usually contains a statement of aims and specific objectives. It indicates some selection and organization of content. It either implies or manifests certain patterns of learning and teaching. Yan. So, yung curriculum, dinadevelop siya for a certain course or profession para maging guide. So, ito yung magiging guide natin kung paano natin i-deliver or i-organize yung content natin for the whole course, certain course na yun. For example, for basic education or sa pagtuturo sa teaching, diba, sa college, merong curriculum for Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education. Meron din namang curriculum for Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. Meron din curriculum for Bachelor of Science in Marketing, ganun. So, per course, meron tayong standards or curriculum na sinusunod para hindi maging magulo and para naka-line up, naka-organized yung content na dapat ituro for the whole years of the course. Yan. It is also a plan for providing sense of learning opportunities for persons to be educated. Yan. Talaga siya, nakaplano siya and nakaset yung standards. Okay? So, meron tayong formal curriculum and informal curriculum. So, the formal curriculum includes the activities accommodated in the regular hours of school. There is a timetable of the school allocates as a specific periods of teaching time for different areas of the formal curriculum. Diba meron tayong tinatawag na semesters o semestral year. So, yun yung nagsasabi kung ano yung dapat i-take ng isang learners na nandun sa curriculum na yun or sa course na yun. For example, for the first semester of Bachelor of Science in Accountancy, merong certain subjects lang na sa first year mo lang siya iti-take and you are not allowed to take it when you are in third semester. So, ano siya, consecutive siya, sunod-sunod siya, and naka-line up siya. Depende sa kung anong year mo siya dapat i-take. Merong timetable na tinatawag at sinusunod. So, the next is informal curriculum. These curriculum activities that occur outside of regular school hours during breaks of lunchtime, after school, and sometimes on weekends are also sources of learning and constitute the informal curriculum. So, ito naman yung mga extracurricular activities na nakasaad dun sa curriculum para ma-enhance din yung learners' full potential growth and learning. For example, meron tayong mga activities na siniset during weekends. For example, yung mga team building, ganyan, group quiz na sinasalihan ng inter-school or inter-campus. These activities are not into formal curriculum. Pero these are extracurricular activities that helps enhance, to hone, or to mold the students or the learners' ability and skills para ihanda siya sa profession na kakaharapin niya kapag nakatapos na siya dun sa curriculum or sa course na yun. So, we are now in the educational reform in the Philippines. So, kung napapansin nyo, dati, basic education lang yung meron tayo. So, dati, di ba, from elementary, high school, college na agad. Ngayon, meron ng mga changes na nangyari. Bakit kaya? So, ito. So, ang sabi ni Emmanuel Y. Angeles, which is the CHAP chairman, or the Commission on Higher Education chairman, by 2015, the 10 ASEAN countries will open their borders, and by 2020, the Philippines will join the APEC trade regime. Before these two events happen, we have to prepare our graduates to be globally competitive. There are no other alternatives but to align our degree programs with those of other countries. So, bakit nga ba nag-decide na magkaroon ng educational reform in the Philippines? Kasi nahuhuli na tayo. Tayo na lang yung Southeast Asian country na hindi nakakasunod sa hindi tayo globally competitive when it comes to education kasi tayo may pinakamaikling years of education compared sa ibang countries. So, sabi niya nga dito, by 2015, di ba, nagbukas raw yung 10 ASEAN countries. And by 2020 nga, sasali yung Philippines or mag-join yung Philippines sa APEC trade. Pagka nangyari yun, kailangan prepared yung ating mga students or graduates para maging globally competitive. Para makipagsabayan tayo sa ibang countries, sa ibang mga students din. Kasi tayo na lang yung nahuli. Okay? So, dati kasi, tayo ay meron lang 6 years in elementary, 4 years in high school or secondary education. Tapos, sa college, it's either 4 years or 5 years, depende na lang sa course, di ba? So, tayo yung may pinakamaikling years of education. So, kung makikita nyo, 14 years lang tayo. Sa iba, 16 to 18, di ba? Kasi meron pa silang senior high school. Like in the National University of Singapore, 4 and more years in college, spend 3 years in college, 4 units per subject or module. So, huling-huli talaga tayo. Hindi tayo updated, hindi tayo competitive globally, lalo na sa education, di ba? So, bakit nga ba, ano yung mga reasons kung bakit nagkaroon ng educational reform? Sabi ko nga kanina, Philippines having the shortest education cycle in the world, which is 14 years. Tayo yung mayroong shortest education cycle. So, kailangan mag-upgrade or makisunod tayo, sumunod tayo sa flow ng iba. Kasi, mahuhuli tayo kung hindi tayo, mapag-iiwanan tayo kung hindi tayo susunod. So, universal coverage of quality early childhood education for all 3 to 5 years old children. So, usually kasi 7 pa or 6 nagsa-start, di ba? Other countries, nagsa-start na sila ng early childhood education 3 to 5. So, late nga talaga tayo. Hindi tayo nakakasunod. So, yan. Universal completion of the full cycle of basic education schooling with satisfactory achievement levels. So, minsan, hindi pa lahat nakakatapos ng elementary or high school. Diba? Dahil na rin sa situations ng government or ng ating kabuhayan, ng kabuhayan ng mga Pilipino. So, yun kailangan nating ma-overcome yun. So, sa basic education curriculum na meron tayo before, yun nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, sa elementary, 6 years, sa high school, 4 years, and college, 4 to 5 years, depending on the course. So, yan. Ngayon, yung basic education curriculum na yun, noong 1984 to 2002, ang tawag sa kanya is National Elementary School Curriculum. And then, na-reform siya or na-revise siya noong 1991 to 2002, naging New Secondary Education Curriculum. And then, 2002 to present, naging ano siya, Revised Basic Education Curriculum or RBEC, RBEC. Meron din namang Understanding by Design, which is the UBD. So, ito naman, emphasis is on backward design, the practice of looking at the outcomes in order to design curriculum units. Understanding by design siya, facilitating student understanding. Teachers must explain the big ideas and essential questions as well as the requirements and evaluative criteria at the start of the class, but this method only works for some topics. So, backwards siya. I-explain mo muna yung big picture, yung big idea bago mag-move sa bago mo siya himay-himayan into little information. Next one is General Education Curriculum or GEC. So, GECA, 63 units for Humanities, Social Sciences, and Communications, or USOCOM students. Ito na yung senior high school and yung nagkakaroon na ng strands, di ba? GEC, B51 units for non-USOCOM students, or yung mga ABM students into Accountancy, Business, and Management. Yan. So, ngayon, nagkaroon na ng K-12 model na dinevelop ng DepEd. So, this covers kindergarten and 12 years of basic education, 6 years of primary education, 4 years of junior high school, 2 years of senior high school, and 4 to 5 years of college to provide sufficient time for mastery of concepts and skills. Nagkaroon ng senior high school para mas prepare natin yung mga students natin pagdating ng college. Usually kasi kulang yung 4 to 5 years sa college para ma-impart lahat ng information na kakailanganin sa certain profession na tinitake ng mga students. For example, yung accountancy and yung accountancy. Usually 5 years siya sa college pero hindi sapat yun para ma-cover lahat ng kailangan matutunan. So, nagkaroon ng 2 years pa sa senior high school or the general education curriculum. Ayan. So, merong mga issues regarding the present general education curriculum. Sabi nila, mas heavier yung semestral load of students, pero hindi natin nakikita yung big picture ahead na mas na ihahanda nito yung mga students sa tatahakin nilang profession in the future. Mas prepared sila, mas skilled sila compared sa mga hindi nakapag-take ng senior high school. And yun, hindi naman lahat kailangan nating i-contradict. We need to abide pa rin para maging globally competitive yung ating mga learners as well as our teachers and facilitators. So I hope you have learned again a lesson or a little something from me, and I hope I have shared my knowledge to you, and salamat for listening until our last subject next meeting. Thank you!